Super Tuesday, just hours away. For the first time, Utah joins more than a dozen states for this crucial day of presidential primary elections. Tonight, KSL has team coverage leading up to this historic event. News specialist Andrew Adams spent the day at the Bernie Sanders rally at the Utah State Fairpark. But we're going to begin tonight with political specialist Lad Egan. Lad, this is a big occasion for Utah, a lot at stake.
We've certainly seen the Democratic candidates paying extra attention to the Beehive State. A lot of that has to do with us having an earlier primary when the nomination is still up for grabs. Another reason for the Utah attention, the Democratic field is still crowded, meaning every single delegate could matter this election cycle. Utah has just a fraction of the delegates of other Super Tuesday states. We've got 29. For comparison, California has a whopping 415. Utah's 29 pledged delegates are distributed into two groups, statewide and district level. To get any delegates, a candidate must get 15% of the vote, either statewide or in one of our 4 congressional districts. Once that threshold is met, the delegates will be distributed proportionally based on a percentage of the vote. Utah also has 6 superdelegates who can vote for any candidate, but that would only come into play at the Democratic convention this summer if a candidate doesn't get enough delegates in this primary process to claim the nomination. That's what would be called a brokered convention, and it's definitely something the Democrats want to avoid. So the magic number needed, 1,991 delegates. That's a majority of the nearly 4,000 total. That's why Super Tuesday is oh so important. It's got a third of the delegates up for grabs, and it's a chance to claim those delegates and that all-important momentum. One quick note, I checked in with the Utah Democratic Party. They say they won't release any delegate allocation numbers until all the ballots are counted. And since Utah votes mostly by mail, that could take a few days. And the party tells me we'll have to wait at least until Thursday. Back to you. All
right, it'll be exciting, Lad. Thank you. Right now, Utah's delegates are Senator Bernie Sanders to lose. He holds 28% of the vote here in Utah in the latest Deseret News Hinckley Institute poll. Michael Bloomberg and Senator Elizabeth Warren are both in double digits. Joe Biden sits at about 6%. Today, Sanders held a rally in Salt Lake City to lock in as many votes as possible heading into tomorrow's Super Tuesday primary. Andrew Adams was there at the rally. Andrew, a lot of people there.
Well, he had several thousand supporters turn out here to the Utah State Fairpark despite chilly temperatures and the fact this happened in the middle of a workday. Bernie Sanders wanted to leave people with something to think about heading into tomorrow and looking forward to November.
Should be a good day.
They started showing up 6 hours early.
When we got here, it was this crowd right here.
And it wasn't long before the line wrapped around the block.
That is amazing for all these people to come here, the young generation.
Young and old braved the cold.
You know what? There are some real good people.
In order to feel the burn. Bernie Sanders was making a rare stop in Salt Lake City.
You know, I was so close to shaking his hand the first time. I was like this far away.
And thousands of supporters converged on the Utah State Fairpark to see the presidential hopeful ahead of Super Tuesday.
We want a chance to meet the guy. We want a chance to see what he says with the same tone of voice. Senator Bernie Sanders!
Sanders didn't waste time after his arrival to take shots at the incumbent.
We must defeat Donald Trump, who is the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country.
Sanders blasted the president as a, quote, pathological liar.
You cannot continue having somebody who is running a corrupt administration.
In his appeal to this red state, the Democratic candidate didn't shy away from any of his talking points.
And that is why we're going to end cash bail in America.
Even climate change.
Our administration will believe in science.
With less than 24 hours to go.
And let us transform this country. Thank you all very much.
Sanders hoped the large crowds here will show up to the primary tomorrow. Well, going back to that poll you referenced off the top, Pete Buttigieg was running third at 18%. Still remains unclear where that support goes tomorrow. We'll wait and see. Sanders hoping to hold on to his lead.